the study of people, the study of population growth and trends. People are either moving in or they're moving out. You want to be on the side of the people moving in. So let's dive headfirst into some insights in research on what's going on in the marketplace out across Canada, and then also taking a deep dive looking for one of those outliers. We want one of those markets that is performing higher than the rest of the marketplace. Now, one of the things that I want to dive clearly into here for you is, remember this song? So, I don't know if you're like me, but I'll tell you what. When I was growing up, I might be showing my age here a little bit, growing up on the prairies, one of my favorite TV shows was Sesame Street growing up. When I was just a little wee Russell on the prairies growing up. And if you ask my mom, she would probably tell you that the 1 hour of the day when Sesame Street was on was probably that 1 hour she had peace and quiet, where it was probably the only hour of the day that I actually would shut up and she could actually get some time. Maybe she had a nap, or she probably could actually get some alone time and enjoy her coffee for the day. But I tell you, so during that time of Sesame Street, there was one of the songs that you can hum along, and I'm going to put an earworm in here for you here as well. Is remember that song about one of these things is not like the other? That is what I saw when I started digging into the research when I was looking at the population growth. Is truly there is one of these things is not like the other. So if you take a look at this, Ontario is declining in population numbers. Now, just for perspective for everybody, these are at the end of Q1 2026. So these are good numbers. Numbers change always. They always change. They come out on an annual basis. They come out when a census period comes out. They come out on a quarterly basis. These are the latest numbers that have been published by Stats Can from a quarterly perspective. So Ontario has been going the wrong direction. BC has been going the wrong direction. Quebec has been going the wrong direction. However, there's been one of these things is not like the other, and that's Alberta. Alberta has been growing in population. And I know there's a lot of people, if you actually look down below here or look over on the side, there's a lot of people that are saying as well, Canada's migration trends have slowed down. 100%. That is true. That is true. Is the pendulum, and I'm going to be honest here for a second, is truly like the population of in-migration is almost like a pendulum, right? It went from one side of the ledger way too far to the other side, okay? It went from too many people being to coming in to then not enough people coming in. And then I've even heard some talk, and there's some rhetoric out there in the marketplace that they're going to probably turn the taps on just the right amount, the Goldilocks. One's too hot, one's too cold, one's just right. And I don't think they will get it just right. But here's the point that I want to share with you right now is number one is that Canada is one of the first times, and I believe that is literally one of the first times in recent memory, it was a drop. It was the largest drop of 103,000 people that dropped, and Canada's population actually declined on the last year-over-year number, right? So that's one of the things is, here's the key thing you want to remember is the people are relocating. The demand is shifting. The demand is moving from British Columbia, Ontario, and Quebec. They're relocating into the prairie provinces. And that clearly shows here, this is the most recent numbers as mentioned, is there's one outlier. Remember, one of these things is not like the other. There truly is one province that is gaining people where everybody else has been losing people. Now, where has been that major difference of where people are going? A lot of people have just left the country. To be honest, they've left the country for other promised land out there right now, and that number truly it's about 7,280 was the growth in just the one quarter within Alberta. Now, if you take a look at it, broken down by here are the ones that are declining, and then here are the ones that are growing. So really, truly, Saskatchewan also had a positive in migration as well, interprovincial migration. So that was a growth there as well. So just make sure you follow those trends. Okay. Now, breaking it down from, so remember, we started at a national perspective. Then we went into a provincial perspective, and now we're going to break it down into a large metropolitan area perspective. Edmonton was the number one destination for interprovincial transfers, for interprovincial migration for people. Edmonton was number one. The other is, if you actually combine Edmonton and Calgary together, they were almost 24,000 people gained in a single year as well. So those truly are the two shining stars out there as well. Really, Alberta is, sorry to sound like a little bit of a cheerleader here as well, is that Alberta truly at the moment is the shining star with people. So think about this. At a time of the cycle when immigration is literally negative, or people are leaving, okay? People have left Canada as a total, and the immigration has literally dried up to zero. During that time of a cycle, people still chose to move to Alberta. Okay. And there's multiple reasons for that. And that's what we're going to get into a lot within this video series that I'm putting together. And depending on when you're watching this, depending on when those other research and other videos have been prepared. But the key thing is here's the message I'm really trying to get to is during a downtime in a national perspective of people moving in, Alberta still grew. Just imagine what happens when that pendulum swings back to mildly towards normal. That number will get even bigger. Okay, so be prepared. I believe right now, and when we get into the further research on talking about the rental trends and things like that, I really believe right now we're in a breather time. We're in that plateau of a little bit of a breather before a next run up. And that's based upon the facts that I'm seeing. That's based upon the research and the numbers that are being shared with that the research is coming out. So that's the key thing we want to do is always make sure that population is one of those key things. Make sure you're tracking the people. Right, make sure the people have to arrive. What then they do is the more houses they buy more houses, more demand for rentals. The absorption goes up, and then from there, rents go up in the process as well. Okay, so here's the thing: is I see a lot of this happening quite regularly. Is a lot of people are doing what I call the national comparison trap. Right. What they do is they take a look on a national basis and then they extrapolate that out to everywhere else. Okay. The key thing that you want to do as a real estate investor is you truly want to find the outlier. You want to find the market that's performing better than the national number. And there are markets in Canada that are performing significantly better than the national number. And that is what you want to make sure you follow right now. So the question really isn't, is Canadian real estate good right now? The question is, where are the people moving and where within Canada are they having trouble keeping up? Now, when you see the research I'm about to present, and it's going to be a really deep dive into the housing inventory number within Edmonton, a lot of people sit there and go, well, so much supply has come on the market, and look at all these things that we can't keep up. We've just been building at this rate that's unsustainable. Just wait till you see when you overlay the housing starts and the completions, which are different. Starts and completions are different. Just wait to compare that to how many people are forecasted to move in. I'm going to give a little bit of a tease for that video. Is there's still another 750,000 more people forecasted to move into Edmonton within the next 15 to 20 years. And I'm not going to tell you the story I'm saying, but the housing starts number that was in the last couple of years, that might be the new norm that has to happen on a decade-long basis just to keep up with the forecast of population. So anyways, stay tuned. That information is coming up as well. All right, so make sure you always follow the people. It's critical that you follow that population trend. You want to make sure that people are always moving in. You always want a positive in-migration of people moving into the area. You also want to make sure that when people are moving in are, where are they leaving, right? Maybe it's time that you restructured your portfolio. A lot of the work I've been doing with some clients has been helping them restructure portfolio of divesting out of either out of an Ontario or BC marketplace, divesting of some of those assets, taking the chips off the table on some of those gains and moving it into Alberta where the green lights are very positive at the moment. Okay, so make sure you follow those migration flows. Where is it affordable? That's another analysis that I'm going to go very deep into the affordability. That's one of the things that is a little bit of a dirty word that people sit there and they go, everybody wants nothing but properties to go up in value, and they want just the real estate values to just continue to go up. An unpopular opinion is that I don't want values of properties to go skyrocketing so fast that people can't afford them. Having a market that's affordable for people to buy is very healthy for a community, is very healthy for a marketplace. And it's actually very healthy to determine that there will be longevity over the long period of time. There's not going to be a big giant up and a down. Like some markets are feeling that big giant that went up very too fast and it's going down very quick. It hasn't found its bottom yet, and then it's going to maybe start going up again. What I'm seeing in Alberta, and particularly in Edmonton, is that's not the case at this moment. All right, so make sure you follow those numbers and follow the affordability trends with things. Then also the supply pipeline can new construction, is it oversupplying? Is it meeting the demand? Got a very detailed presentation on that as well, upcoming. And then also, where is the market going for the future? Always invest on a marketplace with a future, not a past. Now, the last thing I'm going to share with you, gang, here is this is just a really quick snapshot on the population trends. And always remember, one of these things is not like the other. And try to get that song out of your head now as you go about your day. You always want to find those outliers, the ones that are going to perform better than the national number. And so far, things are pointing very clearly towards Alberta, very clearly towards the Edmonton marketplace. That's what my research is sharing with me. That's the actions that I'm taking. That's what a lot of the people that I've been working alongside, they're seeing the same kind of results and same kind of numbers as well. And I believe right now is a fantastic opportunity to get into a marketplace that is taking a little bit of a breather before it hits the next run up in value. That's what the numbers are showing. Now, the last thing I'm going to share with you and last thing I'm going to leave you with is if you are interested and if you would like to have a consultation, if you'd like to book a time with somebody with more than 25 to coming on 30 years of experience to take a second look at what you're doing, a second pair of eyes, maybe even just need a private, no judgment consultation about what is happening with your portfolio and what are the next 3 steps for you. I'd be happy to do that. So wherever you're watching this, there will either be in show notes or in a description below. Take a look at that link. Click that link, put a time in my calendar, and I'd be honored to help you out. Okay, gang? Hope that helps. Talk to you very soon. Bye for now.